Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Century Countess. In today's video, we're going to be doing some makeup. So, let's get started. So, Thursday and Friday, also by the way, this is going to be a update video. Vlog video. My makeup videos are always vlogs. I always end up vlogs. So, Thursday and Friday, oh my gosh, schedules that were planned, events, all had to be posted back, rescheduled, which is fine. These things happen, but oh my god, it was crazy. So, if you guys saw my post on Instagram, if you guys remember the Karen who wore shirts, like skirts, that did not hide certain bits that were not meant to be made public, who tried to drag in bedbug infested dumpsters from other places, and it got to the point where I couldn't even go upstairs to my unit because front desk was nowhere to be found, and it was either take a risk and having to push this person out of my way, which is what I would love to do, but it would have been all on camera, and it would probably be considered violence, and I would probably get evicted, even though other people who have committed violence here get away with it, but I guarantee you it wouldn't work with me. I would not be surprised. So, anyway, I digress. So this person was told a while back when they pulled the fire alarm for the 4th or 5th time, that if they continued their BS, if they continued sticking with whatever drug they were using, they would be out. So for a good few months, this is a good few months, they were on their best behavior. I actually thought they up and left, but then I started seeing them a couple of days ago, walking their dog, doing their thing. And they seemed normal. They seemed like they got their act together. But yesterday, I had a little bit of an accident when I went to the dump. Well, not yesterday. It was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. I had a little bit of an accident. I was getting ready to go on my walk. It was a nice day. I got, some makeup on, some really nice makeup. I was going to show it off. I should have done a video, yes, I know, but, hold on. But unfortunately, that didn't work out because I slipped and pissed. I did not know that there was a dog piss by my door, and I had a whole bunch of recycling, and I don't look at the floor because, I wasn't looking at the floor. I was focusing on, getting ready to leave. Good spirits, and then I slip and I bust my bad knee. Lovely, huh? Well, turns out Karen was back at their old antics again. And here's their excuse. So their new excuse this time when they finally, that's too far into the story. So anyway, their dog was out once again, and door was shut. So, and I mention this because you're going to love the excuse. The excuse makes no sense. So, dog was outside, door was shut. There was no way this dog could get out on its own. The poor thing looked very pitiful. There was piss and shit everywhere. I had to sidestep. While I was limping, I had to kind of sidestep just to get to the recycling, dump my recycling, and then the first thing I did was I took photos. And those are the pictures that you see on Insta. Now, here's the best part. Management and assistant management are all on vacation, and as far as I know, only one of them will be coming back. But anyway, they were finally confronted. I tried to show the pictures to front desk, but front desk was already on their way up to take their own picture because somebody else complained. And they were even shocked. So, yeah. Oh Lord, this makeup is not as good as it looks on camera as it is in real life. So let me use my mirror to get like the areas and crevices that I did not get. And I apologize if my face, if my mirror covers my face, but we're talking about the story right now, so. And you already seen me covered in foundation before, so we're not at the fun bit, so I'm sorry if you don't see a pale ghostly corpse face in perfect view as I chat and try to get this makeup perfect. So anyway, as I was saying, she finally comes out and she says she apologizes, she was asleep, and the dog must have got out. So apparently the only way that this dog could have got out is if basically a Jurassic Park reenactment where where the scene where the two kids are in the kitchen, the restaurant kitchen, and the raptors know how to open doors and they come crawling in. So the only way that dog could have gotten out, because that door was shut. There was no way that door, if that dog had come out, that door would have been cracked open. There's no way that a dog has the ability to open a door, close the door, and close the door. There's no way. There's no way. Seriously, there is no way. Oh Lord. I need to get a new razor. The stubble's sticking out. Some of the stubble did not shave off, and I didn't notice it. So now I have to put a little extra foundation on. Don't you hate that? Speaking of which, I better put in an order for new razors too. Anyway, I digress. I'm chatting away about other stuff when I should be staying on the subject, but you know me, I always stray off and I end up talking to myself. Anyway, as I was saying, walk was canceled because I was in agony because I fell on my bad knee. Her excuse was the dog must have got out when she was asleep, so somehow the dog knows how to open and close doors, and lock them, by the way. So she did clean up the mess, but what the outcome will be, I don't know. All I know is that I am done. I am so done. I feel sorry for her, but I call bullshit on you were asleep and the dog got out, somehow magically closing and locking the door on itself and just laying there, because if it got out on its own, surely it knows how to get in. Well, it doesn't. And plus, it shouldn't have been outside in the first place. So either way, you should have shut the door. Whatever it meant, I think they just let their dog out and then took their nap or whatever they were doing. I don't know. But either way, it was their last strike. So we'll see. And I heard it was their last strike through second hand, so we'll see if last strike is just ends up being another warning, telling them if they do it again, they're screwed. It's basically a repeat of enabling issues. So we'll see what happens. Alright. Alright, I believe I have this face fully covered. Now let's go into the powder. Isn't it fun that I'm not cutting, pausing at moments? One sec, you guys. Okay, razors have been ordered. They'll be here tomorrow. Perfect, because we're down to 2 left. So, always need to restock. Always need to look groomed. Alright, so anyway, In conclusion, we'll see what happens September 1st when management gets back and if they decide to do something. So, it just sucks, you know, you guys, it sucks. And I'm sure all I can say is just be glad you're not in a situation like this where it's like manager, you know, you have a manager that doesn't really do much because something, I don't know, I would go into details, but it would be another lengthy story, and we'd be 30 minutes in, and we haven't even got to the fun bits of the video. So all I can say is there's some shady shit going on here, and that's why things are being delayed, things are slow. But as far as I know, I think there are some crazy people who have left. For example, there was this one lady who scared the heck out of me. Not gonna say who, but we're gonna call her Pug Eyes because she looked like a human version of a pug, and she was creepy. Like when I first encountered her, she had grabbed my wrist and asked me if I was the Grim Reaper. And this is right after, I think I've told this story, it was Wednesday, so I just got done seeing my therapist. So PTSD, everything was all triggered when this person was grabbing my wrist, and this was an older lady, by the way, and she had like superhuman strength, so her adrenaline was running. Her adrenaline was on fire. And something had pissed her off that day, and she just decided she needed somebody for an outlet, I guess, an outlet to relieve her anger, and she had chosen me, and she said she wanted to kill, but you know, I told her, yeah, my goth name is Reaper, or I'll go by Grim or Grim Reaper, whatever. Long eyes wild, looking like she's about to kill somebody, and she says, I just want to kill somebody or F somebody up. Luckily, my life coach was outside at the time, saw what was going on, broke it up before anything happened. I tried to go inside. They followed my life coach. They started throwing a tantrum, and I find out that it's fine. It's all for because they locked themselves out, and until they calmed down, they were not going to get help for anything because the way they were acting, you know, obviously for understandable reasons, was a danger. And seeing a lady who is either in her mid or late 60s, maybe early 70s, having a tantrum, like that's similar to a 5 or 6 year old if they didn't get their way or didn't get the toy that they wanted or weren't going to get the toy they wanted because it was expensive. It would have been funny if she wasn't as intimidating. So I was outside waiting for whatever was going on to be dealt with. Finally, my life coach asked me if I wanted to be keyed up. She walked me to my unit while this person was being dealt with by whoever else. I forget who else was down there at the time handling it. But in the end, it was dealt with, and I was so stressed out that my friend said, you know, let's go out and have a drink. And we ended up going to a drag show. It wasn't expected, but it ended up happening. And so, yeah. Okay. But anyway, that person's gone, I think, because the reason why I say they creeped me out is because afterwards they started acting very nice to me. And they would, let's just say, inappropriate touching. They wouldn't grab, like, my frontal area, but they would grab my back area, squeeze my booty, slap it, and then sometimes they would try to kiss. And one time, they even tried to lick my ear and tried to give me a hickey, and I had to pull away. I didn't know how to I did not know how to react to that. But then when I heard that they were on red flags, like they were like on the verge of being out, I finally said something. I said, look, this is what's been going on, and if it helps quicken the pace, that. So I haven't seen that person in months. So I am assuming that they are gone. Because no one has spoken about him, no one has said anything about him. There hasn't been anyone talking about him. And normally when that happens, that means one or two things. They're no longer here, or they're dead. So, that's it. So, all I can say is people eventually are... Oh, and by the way, this person assaulted a staff person, and they were allowed to stay here, and that staff person was still working here. I don't know if they're still working here now, but they had to come back to work knowing that their attacker was not evicted and allowed to stay here. So, it's sad. It's sad. So, that just gives you an idea of how scary this place is, and that just tells you that, yes, I cannot wait to move out of here. So, anyway, face is done. We're 15 minutes in. We haven't even got into the big hooray. So, I'm going to do my contour off camera, and then we'll get to the fun bits. Okay, our cheekbones are slightly not even, but it will do, it will do. Well, hold on, let me see if I can fix it. Okay, we sort of did something, so something came out right. It's sort of right, but it's sort of weird, but it's still, it works, it will work. So, let's see, now we're just going to draw on our design for today. So remember, I think it was a red and black look. We're going to do something like that, but we're going to do black and green today. So something very unique. And we're just drawing out the design. Let's see. So let's bring that up. Oh yeah. Okay, so we got the outline for that. Ignore this little glitch right there. Let me see if I can find my green eyeliner. If not, we'll have to draw it from powder. Okay. So I have to be quiet here because this thing, for some reason, scares me. Mechanical eyeliner scares me these days because they're not made like they used to be. Too sensitive, you know what I mean? 18 minutes in, so I think this is going to be a 30-minute makeup video. Alright, we got our outline in, so let's start filling it up. First we'll start with the green. So you guys, I have something very special planned for this green side. But first we're just going to do, we don't want that one. Let's see, we don't want that one. This one will do. Fingers crossed it goes well. So we have something very special for this green. But first we want to get the main bits covered, and then we'll get to the fun parts later after we fill out the other side. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take our finger I really need to dabble into sunset makeup, more of sunset makeups, eyeshadows and stuff, because I'm almost out of the You Can Be palette, the green in the You Can Be palette, and I'm going to probably experiment with other makeups. There are some single eyeshadow makeups, but here's the thing, I don't trust it because I got this golf palette and there's a lot of them for cheap on Amazon, and it's just a single makeup palette. However, there was one that was like a foundation and it was crap, and I'm kind of tempted to get the eyeshadow version because I don't know, just because it's within a budget and I just want to see if it works. Alright, we got the green in. Now we're gonna do the black, but we're gonna do the black off camera. Alright, we filled out our black side, our black eyeshadow, but then when we reached up, our knobby fingers knocked one of our foundations over, and unfortunately we busted the lid and not the body, but we have a little bit of a broken lid now, so it's not going to be as secure, which is unfortunate. Alright, so comes the fun part. We're now going to take our eyeliner and we're going to draw out our design. Which is this. Smoke that out. I'm gonna hightail it up. Yeah, she knows. Look at what Rose is doing. Oh yeah, of course. I have to deal with it every day with... Oh shit! I'm talking to myself! Literally. Okay, so I will reveal what I was basically discussing with myself. So there is another person in our building that is acting titty baby towards me. Like, you know those kids where they get in trouble and they're put in timeout, and then whenever you walk around that area where they're in timeout, they just look away? There's a person here, and this is the same person that I spoke of a while back, who told me they don't support what I am and what I do without even knowing what I actually do. And and when they said it, they referred to me at what? So when they tried to eavesdrop on what I was showing everybody, and I told them, out of respect to you, you said you don't support what I do and who I am, but you referred to me as a what? I'm not sharing this with you. They denied it. They threw a hissy fit. I told them off. Now they're like, every time when they see me, they do this, or they back away. They made a big scene when I was in the elevator, and their friend that also lives here was going on. They're like, no. So, yeah. I was just like, basically, the next time, I was just reenacting in my head, the next time I see somebody that does like what I do, and they're present, and they say, and that person asks me, how do you deal with the skepticism? I'm just going to flat out be honest. I said I have to deal with almost said their name. I have to deal with Karen's behavior. I don't know if you noticed. So yeah, I'm going to call her out. I'm going to call her out because I'm just sick and tired of holding in it. It's like, okay, you don't like what I do, and you're being a titty baby about it because I told you off. I'm going to embarrass the shit out of you because what you... Also, another thing that I found out is that whenever they see me associate with somebody, immediately when I walk away, I overhear them say, don't talk to that person because this person's this person's that. So some of them are like, yeah, because they know that she's a bullshitter. And there's other people who don't because they haven't seen that nasty side yet. They haven't seen the mask off. So my plan is, normally I don't engage, but if you guys remember the incident with the other Karen who was going around saying that I'm not even going to repeat what they said, but basically if they were saying that I was a possible risk to certain people without even knowing, not even knowing my name. They just didn't like who I am, so they're going around saying all this crap. And if they said it to the wrong person, that wrong person believed it, they would have probably beat the shit out of me. So it's close to that. It's really close to that, you guys. So I think, normally I ignore it, but when that one incident with that person started to become an issue, something needed to be done. So now that this person is also starting to do it, but in a different form, I have to say something. Normally I ignore it and it goes away if you don't give them that. If you don't give them that reaction, I even quoted that in my Q&A, don't give them any entertainment, but when it comes to a situation when they're starting a smear campaign, you got to do something because sometimes you never know who's going to believe it and who's going to react to it and how they're going to react to it. So yeah, you guys. So the next time, if ever I'm around somebody that appreciates and likes what I do, because they know it's an artistic thing, they know it is part of a aesthetic, they know that I'm goth, they understand what the goth community is, even though they themselves, they don't know it, but they know it, and that person's present, and they ask me, how do you handle it? I'm going to just flat out that person. I'm going to out Karen. I'm going to say, I have to deal, one person I have to deal with is that person right there that backed away like a scared little kid. And made a big, and making a dramatic reaction about it. So, yeah. And if they say anything, I'm just gonna flat out say, hey, you made a big scene in the lobby with the elevator incident. How does it feel? How does it feel? As you know, I'm triggered. So I'm triggered because literally when somebody, because you never know. When somebody does a smear campaign about you, you don't know who's here is going to believe it, and you're worried because, a lot of people, they're not getting their background checked, so you don't know what their violent tendencies are. So the wrong person, they could get triggered and they'll attack you for false information about you. You never know. But I will say this, I got a fun petty story I'm going to tell you guys. So, I didn't know when I was taking a selfie once, I didn't know I had that scheming, smearing, campaigning Karen's image in my background. She was like outside just staring at me, because whenever she doesn't know I'm not looking, she'll glare at me even though I don't see her, but then when I look back, she'll turn away, just like I said, like an angry little kid. Look and turn out. So long story short, this Karen is ugly as shit, and she looks like the Fremont Troll statue. So I put, this is gonna be bad, you guys, because I stooped into a level that I normally don't stoop. But tourists love that area, the Fremont Troll Bridge statue. So they like to go around it. There's this path where you can go around it behind the statue to sit on its shoulder or to lean on its head or to sit on its hand. So to protect it from getting wet, I made a little pamphlet that says the model to the Fremont Troll. No details, no addresses, just lady lives in downtown, claims to be the model of the Fremont Troll. And I put their face next to a large photo of the troll's face. and it's hilarious because I'm not exaggerating. She does look like the Fremont Troll. The Fremont Troll also has like a white eye. She has a dead eye, and it's in the exact same eye area. It's the exact same eye that's dead. Same lips. Just put fit frame glasses on that troll, and it looks exactly like her. That's the only Photoshop when you need to compare that it's her. I don't know if it's still there because I put it there a couple of days ago, but my petty revenge is to hope that, knowing how crazy tourists are, they're going to be in downtown and find her. It won't come back to me because I cropped my image out and just put her up. So I'm hoping somebody recognizes it, approaches her, and she's going to flip. So yeah, that's my petty revenge. I don't know if the picture's still there, but I will update you if anything happens, especially if she starts getting stalked by tourists wanting photos of the model of the Fremont Troll. So yeah, I can get petty. If you push me in a corner long enough, I will get petty. Yeah, this is our makeup for today. It is now 31 minutes in. I am going to throw on my outfit and I'll show you the full look. And here we are. This is the final look. All made up, ready to go. We're going to grab our shining bag, get ready for our walk. But before we do, we're going to see where we put our sunglasses because we may need them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I apologize for the surprise rant at the end, but at least you found out that I do get petty sometimes, and I do, if I get the chance, do petty revenge. So, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and hit that bell. We're almost close to 400 subs. When we get to 400 subs, you know what that means, a sub celebration video. So please like, subscribe, hit that bell, and leave me comments. I love the comments. Until next time, bye-bye.